While us readers and everyone in Wano are all focused on the war against Kaido and Big Mom, big things have happened in the Grand Line during the Reverie. So today we're going to talk about what I think transpired after the arc's completion, why and how it will lead to Vivi rejoining the crew, and finally how this will lead to one of the biggest war arcs in One Piece history. So my dudes, Saiyan Salamander here, and welcome to the first of many One Piece Theorycrafting videos that will be coming to the channel. I was originally going to be making a video about Vivi joining the crew and how I think she'll be strong enough to rejoin the Straw Hats. But before I delve into that, I want to talk about the Reverie arc, because I think that's going to be the first major step to lead into her joining the crew. So before delving into the theory crafting, let's talk about all the facts that we've learned from the Reverie. First, there was a murder and an attempted murder that took place there. We don't know who the killer and who the victims are. The second is that a huge incident occurred in Alabasta, causing Shirahoshi to worry for Vivi after Garp informed her and her rest of the family the news, with us getting an interesting anime-only scene of the citizens of Alabasta reading the news in despair. Third on the list is that Sabo and some of the Revolutionary Army members snuck into Marijois to rescue whatever remains of revolutionary buddy Kuma, who's a husk of his former self that has been enslaved by the Celestial Dragons. Something happened during their raid though, specifically to Sabo, that led to the revolutionaries clashing with Rygoku and Fujitora, with something potentially going wrong in the mission based on the revolutionaries, Makino's and Dadan's reactions. Next up is that there was some sort of news that the Navy tried to cover up, which got leaked after the Reverie. Coincidentally, King Warple also had some info to leak, which could potentially be the news that the Navy were desperately trying to cover up. And finally, we've got the highest authority in the world government, Eam, talking to the 5 Great Elders about extinguishing some sort of light from history, holding photos of Luffy, Blackbeard, Vivi, and Shirahoshi with a knife through her picture. So let's look at all these facts and try to theorycraft what happened to tie all these things together. The main 4 characters that I've seen people discuss that could have died is King Cobra, Vivi, Sabo, or Kuma. Now the only 2 characters out of these 4 I could potentially see dying is Cobra or Kuma, because I don't think that there's any way that Sabo or Vivi were just killed off screen. But Dadan's words here don't really make sense unless Sabo died. I just found out he was alive, tell me it's not true. That is, unless, much like his brother Ace, is captured and sentenced to death by the world government. Kuma, as much as I believe has fallen during the Reverie, I don't think the murder is talking about him, because he's lost his entire personality, being turned into a cyborg slave to the Celestial Dragons, and as bad as it sounds, I don't think the news article would count him as a person getting murdered here, as he isn't being treated like a human being by the Celestial Dragons, they're abusing him and treating him like disposable property. So that leaves the final character of the 4, who I think is the one that got murdered, King Cobra. He had some sort of meeting with Riku and Fujitora and may have been digging deeper into the Void Sentry, Pluton and the Poneglyphs than I can see the world government's wanting, and I can see them silencing him, making Cobra the one that got murdered at the Reverie. As for the attempted murder, I think if Cobra is the one that was murdered, then it would make sense if Vivi was the one that managed to survive the murder attempt. Which does make a lot of sense, especially with Vivi being one of those so-called lights that the 5 Elders wanted to extinguish. Now where do Kuma and Sabo fall into this? Well, there's 2 ideas that I'd like to tell you that I've heard about from 2 big One Piece YouTubers in the community, being Grand Line Reviews and I'm the King. So let's start off with King, and I'll be talking about their Fates of Sabo and Co video. Like I said, we know Sabo tried to save Kuma, but what if there was no way to rescue him, and turn him back to the way he was? If there was no alternative, Sabo could have tried to mercy kill him so he doesn't have to suffer being the slave of the people that Kuma hated most, the Celestial Dragons. I think Sabo will actually succeed in mercy killing Kuma, but the 5 Elders will pin the blame on Sabo murdering Cobra and attempting to murder Vivi as well. And I can see them planning to execute Sabo so the real story doesn't get out, and because, you know, he shows a close relation to Ace and Luffy by being their brothers, as well as Dragon with him being the second in command of the Revolutionary Army. I think this makes a lot of sense, as Grand Line Reviews pointed out in his Death at the Reverie video, the people of Alabasta's reaction to the news wouldn't make sense if Sabo was the one that died. But the revolutionaries, Mikino, and especially Dadan's reactions don't make any sense unless Sabo was the one that died. However, whether Kuma's alive or not, if Cobra was assassinated with a failed attempt at Vivi's life, and Sabo was somehow captured with him being announced that he was to be executed, then everything about the murder falls into place. Especially when you consider that Oda said last year in an SBS within Volume 97 that he'll be drawing the biggest war arc in One Piece history after Wano, and the lineup for a war arc to save Sabo would be insane. You've got the full might of the Marines versus the Straw Hats and likely the Grand Fleet, the Revolutionary Army, and I'm sure that the Samurai and the Mink Tribe would join the fray too to help out, which will be way more people than Whitebeard's crew and the prisoners of the Impel Down like last time. and I think that Luffy would definitely save his brother this time around too, while maybe avenging Ace in the process as well. Okay, so say my theory is right, that's all well and good, but there's still a few things I haven't covered just yet. What was the news that the world government was trying to cover up? What did Warple leak to Big News Morgan? And most importantly, how does this all lead to Vivi joining the crew? Well, way back when Warple was introduced as the antagonist of the Drum Island arc, Vivi was still part of the crew back then, so Warple knows that Vivi was a pirate a couple years ago, and that could be the info that he's trying to leak to Morgan. Even if the 5 elders tried to have Vivi assassinated, I don't think either of them or the world government would want to tarnish the name of a royalty, especially a member of the Nefertari family that was one of the original 20 families that created the world government, by having the current heir to the throne being known as a wanted criminal, and a member of one of the most infamous pirate crews around right now, so it would make a lot of sense on why the world government would try to prevent Morgan from releasing this news. So Vivi is now on the run because she can't go back to Alabasta since she's wanted by the world government. So the Navy would have a lot of stuff to sort out in the country because the king's dead and the only heir is now a wanted criminal. So where does Vivi go? Well, she's always got a home with the Straw Hat Pirates, and they'll always consider her part of their Nakama. Plus, Sai and Leo were both at the Reverie and have met Vivi, and with their Viva cards I'm sure they'll protect an old crewmate of the Straw Hats. So maybe we will see her towards the end of the Wano arc, or after the arc's concluded. So yeah, to summarise, this is what I think took place at the Reverie. Cobra was murdered by the 5 elders, with an attempt being made on Vivi's life too, as a light that Imu wanted to snuff out. Kima was also killed as a mercy by Sabo, with him being captured and blamed for the death of Cobra and the attempt on Vivi. Warple leaked to Morgan that Vivi was a pirate, which the Navy tried to cover up, causing Vivi to go on the run and seek out the Straw Hats, which just about runs up my thoughts for this video at least. So let me know in the comments what you thought of my theory and what you personally think happened at the Reverie. Also, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe icon, as well as the bell icon to see more anime, gaming and Marvel content on the channel, as you don't want to miss the follow-up to this video where I talk about how I think Vivi could power up in order to be a great ally to the Straw Hats. And if for some reason you still haven't had enough of me yet, then you could also check out the link to my Twitch channel, my socials and my Discord server, so you can see me play through some games live, see what I get up to outside of streaming and editing, and hang out with the rest of the community too. Again, thanks for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you all soon, my dudes. Until next time, bye!